Once you've signed on to prezi.com and started your new account, then you can click on here and make a new prezi. There are many different templates to choose from. It shows a few here, but you can also click more and you will see there are so many more different presentation styles. Depends on what kind of presentation you're giving and what your theme might be. I'm going to choose bright lights. I think it's a nice template. Now, thing I should warn you about is I'm on a Mac and for some reason it tends to bounce around more than my IBM does. And so it might jerk around a little bit. It probably won't do that on your own screen. I would like you to notice on the left, this is very much like the presentation screens that you see on PowerPoint. These are each of your slides, only now your slides are much more dynamic and they move in a nice fluid way. Now you notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bubbles, but some of these bubbles have little bubbles inside of them. And so this is your complete, what they call a path. So we're going to go to the overview right here, slide number 1, and we are going to click our title, which is We Are Learning How to Use prezi.com. Now you notice that went to 2 lines. I don't like that. So I'm going to click right here, stretch it out so it makes 1 line. Now I need to center this within the bigger circle. You notice that there's this blue line right here that when you click on it gets a blue line. This needs to be centered within that space. So I'm going to go ahead and center it right there. Now I'll go to my next slide, which is my circle right here. Now we can edit text, which we just saw, and add photos. So now here's where I teach you how to add photos. I'm going to click in the middle of this text box and then press the delete key because I don't need that text box or that one. Now I'm going to insert image. Now you can select files off your computer just by clicking select files, but I'm going to choose from the images that are right here. I'm going to pick this one right here and just double click on it. And you notice it shows up in my circle kind of off center. Sometimes they'll show up right in the middle of the presentation. You just have to drag them back to where you want them and then resize them. Now this one I think I could make a little bit bigger. In fact, I'll make it a lot bigger. There we go. But I think this needs a caption. So I'm going to click off this picture, off the screen right there. And there we go. I made a brand new text box and I'm going to make a comment on that picture and say how lovely. Now, that's not going to show up very well, so I'm going to make it big, bold, and maybe white. Let's see, let me click off of it. Click on it once so I get the blue lines. Now I can move it around however much I like, and I'm going to set it right there. Ah, that looks perfect. So I will leave that there. And now I will go to my next item. We can also add YouTube videos with ease. Once again, this is going to 3 lines. I don't like things on 3 lines. If I click on it once, it gives me the ability to move it. If I click on it a second time, it gives me the ability to edit the text. So there we go. I stretched it out so it's 2 lines, and now I will center it. Now not only can I move it this way, but I can also resize it that way. So there's a couple of things you can control that way. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I don't need this text box, so once again I'm going to press delete on my keyboard. I'm going to add a YouTube video by going insert YouTube video. Now I'm going to paste a link from a Susan Boyle Britain's Got Talent video that I think is lovely, except something went wrong. So I just deleted that one and I'll try this again. Insert YouTube video. Maybe there was something wrong with my link and I'll insert again. There we go. No problem. Now you notice it was all the way up here. That happens with photos and videos. You just have to move it to where you want it and resize it as you like. So there we are. Now we have a video inside our presentation. I want to make a comment and explain where the video is from. This is Susan Boyle's audition for Britain's, I think I spelled that wrong, Got Talent. Okay, now I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to make the text bigger and I'm going to make it bold, but I don't want it to go over the video. So I'm going to put it, yes, I did make a mistake right there. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, now we need to click on the next one here. So I will click right there. And now we are going to, we can add other items from our computer. There are other things that you can add, your own photos, your videos, but let's take a look at the list. You can add PDF files. You can even add PowerPoint slides and things like that. We can also add symbols and shapes, and there's some really nice ones. I'm going to look at the simple dark, and you see there's lots of different symbols and shapes to choose from here. I'm going to pick that lovely sun, and this time I actually do need this text box. So this sun came from the symbols and shapes area under insert. Okay, and once again I'm going to center just because I love having things centered. Okay, so you can add other items from your computer and also from their availabilities. Now here I have click to add text. We can add arrows to point. We can add arrows. How about that? All right, once again, I don't need that. Now I'm going to insert, draw arrow, and now I can draw an arrow. Now if I don't like the color, I'm like, oh, that's too bland. How about a nice bright pink one or a green one, black? I have other choices as well. So I'm going to stick, let's go green. Now I'm going to click that arrow and I can make it a bigger arrow or a smaller arrow. I'll go somewhere in between. Okay, so you can make arrows, but you can also, I'm going to insert another one so I can show you what else you can do with the arrow. You can click right here in this little middle dot and curve your arrow to point at things. Okay, so there you go. Now we're going to go to our next slide, slide number 6. We can also draw lines. I don't need this, but I am going to insert line. Here we go. There's one line. I'm going to insert another line. And there we go. This one I'm going to change the style. Make this one a pretty lavender color. Make it a little bit bigger and no, maybe a little smaller. I can jump in the center, move it just like I did the arrow key, make a sad face, or make a happy face, right? I think I'll go with the happy face. So you do have control over your lines and you may adjust them as you will. So we're going to go to our final slide. This is an overview of prezi.com. And once again, I don't need this. I'm going to put this in the center, only I'm going to make this bigger. There we are. Now, you notice I still have one other slide though. Uh-oh, what am I going to do with that? All you have to do is click on it and press the delete key. Or I'm going to go ahead and undo. This is your wonderful undo button. One of the most important things in this whole thing, right? Click on it. You will notice delete is also right here. Now, what if I delete things and then at the end I go, you know what? I want one more slide. I can click on this one, this one, this one, or I can click on circle frame and get myself another frame. That's one choice. I'm going to delete that. Or I can click on this one and I can copy and paste that exact item, resize it if I want it to be a little bit bigger, and add that to the end, and then edit this just like I had edited the ones before. Although it's being difficult, but I certainly can do that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Now this next part is what makes prezi.com a tiny bit complicated. This is where you edit your path. Now to edit the path, you click this little button, Edit Path, and you'll see that it has the path set up. It goes through each slide. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Now, this first number 2 slide, I want to make it so that this gets focused on during my presentation. So I'm going to pick that up and drag it to an object to insert a new path point. So I'm going to drag it there. I'm going to go to slide number 4. You notice it makes a new slide there. And I'm going to click once again on this little plus sign. And I'm going to drag it to the video. Now after the video, I want it to focus on what that video is, so I'm going to drag it there as well. And now look at all the slides I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then we go back to the big screen. So you can move these as you wish. So if I decide I want number 9 to be here, I can do that. You can move them, and you can also add them as needed. Once you have the path set the way you want them, you click here for Done. Now we're going to present it. So what you will do is you will click on Present. Now this is going to go full screen, so you'll only see part of it on my screen. And here we are. I'm going to go ahead and take you through what this presentation would look like if I delivered it. Here it is, the photo that it zoomed in on. There's the next one. It automatically plays the video for you. And then it would focus there, focus on the next. As I said, you're only seeing a piece of it because I don't have my screencast full screen, but you can get the point of what it will look like when the time comes. Now, once I'm done with this, first of all, you'll notice here it says saved. It automatically saves the whole time for you every time you do something new. Now I'm going to click Exit, and what it will do is it will save it for me and get me to the next window where I can share it. And here we go. This is how you share your prezi.com presentation. You click right here at Share, you copy the link, and then you just email that link to whoever you would like to share your presentation with. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the tutorial for prezi.com. You feel free to refer back to it at any time to remember the little parts that you've forgotten. And I hope you make some wonderful dynamic presentations for school, work, or for fun. Thank you.